What is exactly international relations? It is far more than just diplomacy between states. It is a multidisciplinary lens combining politics, economic, history, and law to understand how our world works or functions. While cross-border interaction dates back to ancient Sumerian city-states in 3500 BC, the modern system we recognize today was born from the Peace of Westphalia in 1648, which established the concept of state sovereignty. The discipline itself formally emerged in 1990 following the devastation of World War I to scientifically analyze how nations coexist. Today, we apply this global concept to a specific dynamic actor, Malaysia. Since gaining independence in 1957, Malaysia has evolved from a Western-aligned nation into a fiercely independent, non-aligned middle power. Its foreign policy is a masterclass in strategic hedging, balancing relationships between superpowers like the US and China, while championing regional peace through ASEAN. The Malaysia story doesn't just stop at tradition. Under the current Malaysia Madani framework and the new strategic plan 2026 to 2030, the nation is pioneering a modern diplomatic approach that integrates technology, climate action, and ethical governance.
As a founding member, Malaysia actively works with ASEAN countries to promote peace, strengthen regional cooperation, and support sustainable development. ASEAN also gives Malaysia the opportunity to represent its national interests while contributing to the growth of Southeast Asia. One of Malaysia's biggest contributions in ASEAN economic integration. Through the ASEAN Economic Community or AEC, Malaysia supports the creation of a single market where goods, services, investment, and skilled labours can move freely across ASEAN. Malaysia also participates in initiatives such as ATIGA and the ASEAN Single Window, which help reduce trade barriers, simplify customs procedures, and make trade between ASEAN countries faster and more efficient. 2025, Malaysia further demonstrated its leadership by serving as the ASEAN chair under the theme Inclusivity and Sustainability. This reflects Malaysia's commitment to building a stronger, more connected, and more sustainable ASEAN. Overall, Malaysia is not just a member of ASEAN, it is an active contributor that helps shape the region's economic growth and future prosperity. When we think about ASEAN, most people think about trade and the economy. But Malaysia also plays a very important role in keeping Southeast Asia peaceful and secure. A recent example is the Myanmar crisis. Since the 2021 military coup, Malaysia has consistently urged ASEAN to take stronger action through the 5-point consensus to restore peace and support humanitarian efforts. As a maritime nation, Malaysia also cooperates with neighboring countries to protect the Strait of Malacca, one of the world's busiest shipping routes, through joint patrols and information sharing to combat privacy smuggling and human trafficking. Overall, Malaysia shows that lasting economic growth is only possible when there is peace, stability, and strong regional cooperation. That's why Malaysia continues to be one of ASEAN's key contributors to regional stability.
Diplomacy has become Malaysia's primary engine for national development. As a highly open, trade-dependent nation, Malaysia leverages this tool not to just secure the markets for its key exports, like the electrical component and palm oil, but it attracts critical foreign direct investment, or FDI. Today, the focus has shifted decisively towards high-value industries, with Malaysia positioning itself as a global powerhouse in semiconductor and digital technology, aiming to capture over $100 billion in investment. This strategy is anchored in the Madani Economy Framework and the 13th Malaysian Plan, which prioritize strategic autonomy amidst this global uncertainty. By actively utilizing platforms like the ASEAN and APEC, Malaysia navigates complex geopolitical tensions, ensuring supply chains while maintaining the balanced relation with major power like the US and China. Crucially, Malaysia's role as the 2026 ASEAN Chair amplifies its voice, allowing it to shape regional rules on digital trade and energy security. From fostering Made by Malaysia initiative to securing partnerships in the global south, economic diplomacy is no longer just about trade. It is about the cornerstone Malaysia's vision to become a resilient. Malaysia actively strengthened its economy through bilateral and multilateral trade agreements as a key part of its diplomacy. Economy diplomacy. Among most important is the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP), the world's largest free trade agreement. It connects Malaysia with ASEAN nations plus major partnerships like China, Japan, South Korea, and New Zealand, giving Malaysia companies access to a market of over 2 billion people. Malaysia is also a member of Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership (CPTPP), which provides lower tariff, better market access, and higher standard in digital trade and intellectual property. In addition, Malaysia has signed bilateral free trade agreements with countries such as Japan, India, Australia, Turkey, Pakistan. This agreement helped Malaysia diversify its export market, attract foreign investment, and reduce dependence on any single economy. They support vital sectors like electronics, palm oil, and advanced manufacturing, while Malaysia is making more resilience against global economic shock. Through smart trade diplomacy, Malaysia continues to expand its opportunities and solidify its position as a reliable trading nation on a global stage.
In a world dominated by superpower rivalries, how does a smaller nation protect its sovereignty? It doesn't do it with military might, it does it through the power of connections. Malaysia doesn't just react to the global agenda, it shapes it. As a strategic middle power, Malaysia has championing multilateralism as the ultimate foundation for a stable international system. As a middle power, Malaysia serves as a stabilizing actor by ensuring that the voices of smaller and developing nations are recognized and respected. Let's begin with South-to-South cooperations. It refers to a collaborations among developing countries in sharing knowledge, expertise, and technical skills. Through this approach, Malaysia reduces dependence on any single Western power and builds more diverse international partnerships. These are known as smart partnerships. This means cooperation based on equality and mutual benefits and not dominance. This reflects its rejection of traditional foreign aid models that often create dependency. A major example is the Malaysian Technical Cooperation Program and MTCP established in 1980. Institutions such as Intan play an important role by training foreign civil servants and diplomats in governance, policy implementations, and international communication. Malaysia's commitment goes beyond training and cooperation. It is also reflected in its global stance. Within the non-alignment movement, representing over 120 developing nations, Malaysia has consistently spoken out for fairness and international law. Today, Malaysia continues to push for reform of the global system. It believes institutions like the United Nations Security Council are unfair. Malaysia supports limiting the veto power of major countries and expanding memberships to better reflect regions like Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Next, let's look at regional centrality. Malaysia strengthens ASEAN centrality to ensure ASEAN remains the main platform for cooperations and stability in Southeast Asia. During its 2025 ASEAN chairmanships under the theme Inclusivity and Sustainability, Malaysia emphasized on the Asian way, which is based on consensus and non-interference. Malaysia have managed regional challenges without external involvement. For example, in the Myanmar crisis, Malaysia supported a peaceful ASEAN-led solution based on 5-point consensus. Malaysia also plays an important role in managing tensions between major powers, especially the United States and China. Economically, Malaysia strengthened cooperation with China through the ASEAN-China Free Trade Agreement 3.0, and at the same time, Malaysia enhanced its relationship with the United States, including maritime cooperation through joint exercises such as Karak.
What comes to your mind when you hear the word diplomacy? Most people think about politics, international meetings, or world leaders shaking hands. But did you know that a country can also strengthen its international influence through finance and even the food we eat? Today, I will show you how Malaysia promotes Islamic diplomacy through Islamic finance and the halal industry. Malaysia's journey in Islamic finance began in 1963 with the establishment of the Hajj Provident Fund. It allowed Muslims to save money from Hajj in a Sharia-compliant way without involving interest or riba. Later, it became Tabung Hajj, which is now recognized as one of the world's most successful Islamic financial institutions. Malaysia continued to strengthen its Islamic financial system by establishing its first Islamic bank in 1983. Then, in 2030, the Islamic Financial Service Act was introduced to ensure that all Islamic financial institutions fully comply with the Sharia principle. Because of this strong legal framework, Malaysia has become a global reference for Islamic finance. Malaysia is also internationally recognized for its trusted halal certification system managed by JAKIM. Today, JAKIM recognizes 88 foreign halal certification bodies from 49 countries, making Malaysia one of the world's leading halal authorities. Malaysia's halal certification combines Islamic principle with scientific laboratory testing, making it highly trusted by both Muslim and non-Muslim countries. This has encouraged countries such as Japan and Brazil to work closely with Malaysia to improve their halal standards and expand international trade. In conclusion, Malaysia Islamic diplomacy is more than promoting religion. Through Islamic finance and its trusted halal certification system, Malaysia has built international trust, strengthened global cooperation, and enhanced its reputation around the world.
In era defined by superpower rivalry, Malaysia shows that global influence is not measured by military strength alone, but by strategic visions and consistency. By anchoring itself to the Asian way, advancing regional economic integrations, and projecting the principle of Madani diplomacy on the global stage, Malaysia has redefined what it means to be a middle power. Malaysia stands as an indispensable architect of regional stability and global order.